welcome. It's been almost 15 years, at least 13 that we've been talking, putting money away and looking at a new Woodland school. We did a preliminary walkthrough when Aldo and Jonathan were busy making sure that we got the best leverage and squeezed every penny because we knew we saved on copper wire by throwing a penny between Aldo and Jonathan, and we got all the copper wire we needed. But today we want to show you the final product. Hats off to people like Aldo and Jonathan for their dedication. We thought it would be over 60 million. Looks like there'll be at least $1 million. They'll never tell us the real number till they're absolutely sure, but somewhere between 1 and 2 million under the budget. They had already acknowledged 1.3, and it's a heck of a school. And there's a lot of money we've never spent in Milford, $60+ million on a school. But we hope that once you see what this offers to our children, you'll be as excited about it as we are, except for the parents that are going into 5th grade because they just missed it. So why don't we take you back and let our face of Woodland, our new Grand Poobah of the elementary school, introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Tim Kernan, new principal of Woodland School. Very excited to be with you and to take you on a tour of this phenomenal facility. We had our first open house last Saturday, a couple days ago, and the smiles going in were big, and they were even bigger coming out. So that tells me people are very excited, and they have every right to be. This is a phenomenal building that the town has provided for our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and we're just so thrilled to open the doors and bring some life to it with kids in the building very soon.
Yeah, I said the 5th graders, I meant the 6th graders, because they're the ones that just missed.
Just missed it, yeah, they did miss it. But we're going to have years to come. Our families are going to be thrilled with this facility. We're really excited.
So let's go take a look.
Sure. So we have a phenomenal opening entrance here, which I think just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the building. It's very inviting and welcoming, and certainly, it's as nice and big and airy, and that's what the building is like as well on the inside. Well,
when you first pull up, you feel the openness,
yeah,
and the colors. I mean, as you look down, not only inside, but you also, when you approach the building, it just feels like a fun place to learn.
It is. It's very engaging. It's very inviting. And for what it's worth, research has showed that bright colors stimulate the brain. So there's a lot of brightness in this building, and there's a lot of glass. One of the first things I said when I had my first tour of the building was, I hope we quadrupled the Windex budget for this place, because there's a lot of glass here. And it just brings in a lot of natural light, and hopefully you'll see it today, but there's sunshine pouring into every classroom.
Well, the other thing that I was amazed at is the thought that went into even things as what seems trivial, like the height of the glass off the ground for security.
Yep. Everything certainly is up to code, as you would expect it would be, but it's an atmosphere. The physical building is conducive to learning. And that's what I think everyone was hoping for and planning for, so we're really excited.
And the infrastructure is conducive to security.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely it is. It's got a lot of great features, security features, some of which I can't get into detail.
Some of which we're not going to talk about.
I can't talk about, but there's a lot of thought put into security. Unfortunately, that's the age that we live in. And this building is a safe environment for kids to learn. It's a safe environment for teachers to teach as well. So,
yes, my daughter immediately said, "What do they have down there?"
Yeah,
so
it's great.
Let's walk through.
Sure. Of course, this is our main office here, and we have a lot of administrative offices in the back. And you can get I don't know if you want to get a peek of that mailbox setting. There's a lot of mailboxes, and we have just enough for our staff members. We'll be opening up with about 153 staff members next week, so we're really excited about that. A lot of new faces. Up front here, I have Allison Caffarella and Lori Pinto. Hard at work, many hours after their workday ended, but there's a lot to do to get ready for a school year. And both Allison and Lori are new to Woodland, so you mentioned me being the face of Woodland. These are the faces of Woodland because they're the first people that our students and parents will see every day when they come in the building. So that's the face of Woodland right there. So couldn't have gotten this far, this ready for this grand opening in the next couple of days without their work and their help.
And I will preface the show by saying the good Dr. Tim didn't want us to come in till he was ready. So we may see a few last minute, bags
There's
here.
There's still
or
things to do. Yes, we're not going to be fully ready, I think, until right when the kids walk in. So we're using every hour we have available to us to get ready. But
so if we see a couple things out of place, they'll be in place within 2 days.
We're still tightening things up as fast as we can. So, yeah.
Lead on.
Yeah, we'll come this way. And this is our cafetorium. And you can, while we're here in our cafetorium, our assistant principals, Lisa Kincaid and Chris Sang, hard at work here, again, making use of every hour we have available to us, getting ready for our school year. So they're here in our cafetorium. Our cafetorium is going to have room for about 400 kids or so for lunch. Full kitchen, which is right over that way, but certainly we're not set up as we've using this space today as our staff gathering and meeting area. So we have our chairs up there. Our stage, which is not quite finished, but once it will be, is going to be professional grade, is what I've been told by our lighting and sound and video people that have come in to give us a little bit of training on the systems that we have here. They've said that some of the equipment we have here, we could put on a full Broadway show with the equipment that's available to us. So it's state of the art. We can use this space for a lot of different community needs, and we're excited to do that.
Well, the first thing is we have a stage.
Yep, we do have a stage.
For the Woodland veterans that remember, we used to have a stage.
Yep.
Then we needed music space.
It was taken over.
We took over the janitor's closets, the custodial closets. Then that wasn't enough, so all of a sudden the stage went away.
Yeah.
So even having one is exciting.
Yep.
Having one with this kind of infrastructure is amazing.
It is. Our performing arts, not just for our Woodland students and our Woodland staff, but I anticipate it being used by our Stacy performing arts, our Milford High School performing arts, and just the community in general. We have this wonderful space and technology available to us that we want to use and share. And one of the great features that you notice about this is that it's nice and open. Today we had our staff members in here and we had a staff meeting, and they were commenting on the fact that we had all these people here and we were having a conversation and no one had to raise their voice because it's all acoustically engineered and it's this big huge space which is fantastic, and it's ringed by our performing arts classrooms. So you'll see we have music classrooms over there, and that's kind of denoted in the tiling. You can see the piano and the trumpet and things like that, music notes. We have these great music classrooms, which I'll show you in a little while. And our arts wing is right above me up this way. So it's a great space. It's very inviting.
And it's air conditioned. It's 90 degrees outside, and
it's nice.
We're not having to sit here with a fan.
No, it's very comfortable. Yeah.
And I was always really, really amazed at how the ingenuity came in, where the state won't pay for a stage.
Yep.
But if we have it as a cafetorium,
yeah.
Then all of a sudden they're really paying for the cafeteria, and we got reimbursed.
With a stage in it, yeah, it's great.
So what do you think, Lisa?
Very excited. We're waiting for Wednesday to have all the students come in.
Yeah.
And welcome.
Thank you very much.
Chris has been a great addition to the Woodland team and to the Milford faculty. We're excited to take advantage of all the things that he's going to bring to us with his curriculum knowledge, his instructional leadership. We think he's going to be a great asset.
Well, we didn't know how you were going to get Lisa out of the old Woodland. We always thought she was kind of implanted.
No. Yeah, we're glad she came with us.
I'm happy to be here.
She has been our go-to person. Chris and I are both new, as you know. So Lisa has been the answer person for all of our questions and getting us up to speed.
She's been the go-to person for many of us for many years.
Yes, whether it's Stacy or wherever it is. Yeah.
I'm excited to work with the new team too.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly have the facility. I mean, the other thing that you notice right away, today is kind of course, we schedule it on a dark and gloomy day, yet it's so open and airy.
It is, and you can't see it from here, but as you come this way, that whole wall to my left here is all windows. And during the school day, right now it's a little later in the afternoon, but during the school day, the light is just pouring in as the sun goes across the sky there. So this we don't often need the lights here because it's just so nice and bright.
Yeah, and it's not even saving on the lights. It's just the brightness.
It is, the natural
mood.
light. Yeah.
The mood.
It is. It's great. It's great. So we'll go this way. We'll take you down the first floor. So this is our first floor, which is our third grade wing. So all of these classrooms are third grade classrooms. So each floor is going to have a different grade. So third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade are 3 floors. And teachers have been in since the 22nd. So August 22nd, we were able to get all their stuff moved in on the 18th and 19th. Furniture was being delivered all through August. And they weren't able to get in until last week. And many of them came in on their own time to set up their classrooms, unpack their boxes so that it's ready to go for Wednesday when our students arrive. There's still some unpacking and setting up that goes along, and there's also a lot of deliveries for equipment and school supplies being made, as many of our vendors weren't able to get into the building or get to the building because of the construction. So things are still coming in, but our teaching staff is just going with the flow. So as you come down this classroom, the classroom setups are all fairly similar in that just about every classroom has got 2 classrooms, full-size classrooms, and then in between them is either a collaborative learning space or a interventionist office. So you'll see a small space in between, and there's windows between all of these classroom setups so that we can, it's very inviting and engaging. Sorry, Mrs. Delaney, we're coming through on a tour as Mrs. Delaney is working hard into the night.
Come on in.
But this is our educators.
This is what they do.
It's past 6.
Yeah.
On time, she's not being paid for,
No.
and she's coming in to make sure everything is set up.
I've been throwing people out of the building for weeks now. Late at night was I need to get to bed at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm kicking people out, and they just plugging away, getting things done, getting things set up so that we're ready to go on day one. But you can see these classroom spaces whether it's the first floor, second floor, third grade, fifth grade, whatever it is, have got these nice classroom windows. There's built-in storage with shelving. Certainly there's some equipment that have been put in place as well. Every classroom has got a sink, lots of great space. There's going to be a spot in one of the larger cabinets for the Chromebook carts to get wheeled into once they arrive on premises.
So just like the old Woodland.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's a great setup, and like I said, one of the things that I love as well is it's not just the windows to the outside, but the windows to the inside. They're still able to see what's going on, whether it's next door or through a classroom or out into the hall, so that not only allows us to have eyes on kids all over the place, but it's one of those places where when you see what else is going on, it just builds those interpersonal connections and relationships. When you see your neighbors coming in, you can see what's going on in their classroom. It draws you in. It's just very inviting.
The idea of having a room where if a child needs to calm down, or the other extreme, that if they're doing advanced work and they need extra quiet, what a wonderful idea to have them right here.
We have these spaces which are mostly designed for small group instruction, flexible grouping, where a teacher can pull a group of kids, whether they need as you said, extension on a certain concept or skill, or whether they need reteaching, we have that space available. And as as the kids are growing in ages, we want them to have more independence. We can say to a group of 5 or 6 kids, hey, I want you guys to go in here and work in there. Just to kind of spread kids out, get them moving, have them in a different environment, give them a little bit of independence where you can still have eyes on them and see what's going on. So it's a great option. So there's all this flexible learning space, which is, I think, the hallmark of this building.
So you wouldn't want to go back to the old Woodland?
No, not a chance.
Yeah.
I think I said to you on the first day, just being in here, moving in and air conditioning is huge.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, we had 4 rooms air conditioned at Woodland.
I wasn't lucky enough to be one of those.
But I've heard a lot of people say this. Woodland, it was more than just bricks.
Yes,
It was the
was.
people. So
For sure.
the Woodland School, the spirit of Woodland School is very much here and alive. The culture is very much here and alive. The setting is
Well,
very different.
years ago, when we ran into a real budget issue, the educators of Milford did something that I will never forget being on the FinCom. When towns around us said they would postpone their raises, which I never understood. If I can't make my mortgage now, postponing it so I pay double later didn't make any sense. Our educators got up and said, if you use the money to save our teachers, we'll forego our raise, which is amazing
Yeah.
because they didn't have to.
Yeah.
And I don't know of many unions that would stand up and say, to help the town,
Yeah.
we're going to give our raise up. And that just, I can't remember a decade ago, but I'll never forget that our educators said, we're putting Milford and the kids first,
Yeah.
and we're going to suffer a little bit personally to make sure that we don't cut back teachers.
Well, I've seen that spirit here as we've been moving in, and certainly we've provided a lot of great equipment and materials for our teachers. But there's a lot of teachers, especially, and this is true in really I think every town though. Beginning of school means a lot of out-of-pocket expenses, and they've been spending their own money in preparation for the classroom and in preparation for the kids. So, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry to
Thank you,
interrupt.
Lori. Appreciate it. Sorry just to drop in on you like that.
That's all right.
That was perfect.
So one of the features that a lot of kids are excited for is the lockers, and that's a little space for the kids to call home. Our lockers will not be locked, so there's not locks available for them, but it's just a little space for them to keep their backpacks and coats. Our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders could spend hours with those locks, so we're just keeping them open. But there is a little private space for them, which was certainly, if you went to the old Woodland, they had hooks everywhere.
Right.
That's all they had. But we have these lockers, and kids are very excited about those as well. As we're walking down here, we have to my left, it's not quite finished yet. It's got a long way to go, but it's our book collection, AKA library, and it's just a book collection. We no longer have a media center, which many schools have, which was kind of, library / computer lab / classroom space. This is really just a book collection. It's just the library. We'll have librarians here to help kids choose materials and return materials and give them a little bit of library skills. But given the technology that we have in our classrooms and the other spaces that we have available to them, we didn't need more than just a place to keep our books right now.
But you've got the infrastructure built out,
We
so
do.
whichever direction technology takes us, as you can see in there, the book collection will adapt.
Yep. I'm going to take you past this one. You'll notice on this floor we have a lot of the colors are more earth tones. So you see your dark greens and your browns and your oranges. And the idea of the building when they were, the artistic vision of the building was for each floor to have a different level. This being the ground floor. When we go up to the 2nd floor, you'll see that's kind of like the tops of trees.
Yes, we
It's
remember
more
going up
greens.
into the trees.
And then the top floor is really nice and blue and whites for the sky. So it's a great.
When
it's a
Malcolm
great
got up
vision.
to the trees, our cameraman mentioned he wanted to come back and redo 3rd, 4th, and 5th
Yeah.
so he could take advantage of the school.
So we also have in these areas here, and someone left a couple of dinosaurs out here. Each floor has got a couple of these areas, which are flexible learning spaces. So there's 3 to 4 of these on each floor, in between classrooms. And these spaces are full teaching spaces. So they've got whiteboards, they've got the interactive projector, we've got these flexible tables that we can group and mix and match in different ways. We have stools surrounding each of these. So these are full teaching areas that teachers can bring kids out to, whether it's a small group or, like I mentioned before, independent learning. Send kids out here from their classroom that they can use as a flexible learning space. It's nice and bright, it's airy. This one goes up to the 2nd floor. Some of the ones on the 3rd floor go up and down that way. It's a great space for teachers to do whatever they want to do with. You know, sometimes just having the kids move a setting. The lesson is exactly the same as what they were doing in their classroom. They bring them out here, it's a different environment. They get them moving, they get them up, it's a different space. But it allows us to have those options. I can bring, you know, 6 kids from this classroom, 6 kids from this classroom. Now I got a group of 12. You know, there's not a lot of spaces for a group of 12. You might have a group, you can fit 6 or 8, but 12, now we have the room to do that. We can mix and match.
But Tim, it's amazing, because if I have small group learning, in between each classroom I have that little mini classroom.
Yep.
This kind of medium.
It is.
You know, if I want to bring a dozen kids or mix kids or have special event planning or whatever, what a great area.
Yeah. It's great. You know, we also see this as being a great place for science experiments. You know, we have a little bit more elbow room than the classroom might allow. A little bit more space, but we still get the sinks. Like I said, we got the teaching areas like the whiteboards and the projector. This gives us so much more flexibility. And like I said, it's the same way with the brightness, the openness. It's wonderful.
You get the feeling, I mean, the colors, when we first came through, you felt it.
Yeah.
But you really couldn't experience it till now all the colors are here. So, you know, the orange, you know, you think 3rd graders.
Yeah.
You're stimulating their mind from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a few people that, you know, everyone to each their own, they see different colors and it's like, wow, that's really bright, or this color, that color. Like I mentioned, you know, the colors, the brighter the colors, the more it stimulates the brain, as research has showed us. So, but it's very inviting, it's very warm. You know, it's a step away from where, you know, buildings were painted with the, you know, the prison gray, and everything was industrial colors.
Yes.
This is nice and bright.
I mean, it's such a different feeling.
Yeah.
Walking into the new Woodland and walking down the corridors, you feel like this is a good learning environment.
It
the
is.
old Woodland,
You know what? It was crowded. It was cramped. The learning that was happening there was outstanding, and that's to the credit of the teachers that were working overtime to engage their kids in great things that were happening in the spaces that were never designed for learning.
Well, the poor teachers, you gave them hamburger helper, but you're not going to get sirloin.
Yeah.
Here you're giving them sirloin.
It's great. It's a great environment for our kids, and you know, other features which is something a little bit different is we have our bathrooms, you know, two at the end of each hallway, the boys and girls room, with hand dryers, which is a great thing because, you know, for our custodians, I can tell you, no matter what school, the paper towels all over the place. The hand dryers in there, all our sinks are motion activated, so you don't have to worry about the fixtures going out.
Or kids leaving them on.
It's fantastic. I'll bring you down to our gym. This is our gym lobby, which is one of the things I want to point out about the lobby is that we can lock off one part of the building. We can lock off the teaching areas between the stairs and the hallway so that this can be a community center.
So when Lenny Morcone has community use, you don't have to worry about security for the rest of the building.
In the building and running around or anything happening outside, whether you have a basketball tournament on the weekend, you can use this full space.
Holy moly, this is beautiful.
Yeah, this gym is, like I said, it's still a work in progress. We have a lot of equipment that came with the facility that we're still unpacking and getting set up. But it's a full-size gym. You can easily have a high school game here.
I was thinking, how are you going to keep Kerry and the crew out?
Yeah.
They're going to turn around and say, this is better than the high school.
Yeah, Pete Boucher has already booked it for practices, and I assume once they get down here, we'll see the games as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful gym. And you know, the old gym at Woodland, tight and crowded, probably about half this size. You know, for years people have been making do with that, and it worked.
Well, we
But now
almost
have
could
these
do
options.
in the gym what Woodland needed.
Yeah,
But that was
it.
it.
Yeah.
This opens it up to the whole town.
It's spectacular. The windows at the top, as I mentioned, in other areas of the building are just so that light is constantly pouring in here. So it's a beautiful setting for gym. It's a great community space when we're going to need it. It's got all the technology we need, you know, wireless technology, so the sound system, everything. It's a great space.
So Pete, take note when you go to build a field house up at the high school.
So right next door on the other side, and you can kind of see through it here, but I'll bring you next door. So we have this space here, which is our wellness center. And the lights are supposed to be coming on.
Well,
They got turned off, but
seriously, this is incredible.
yeah. So this space is going to be a great space for, it's another PE area, wellness area, where we can have all kinds of activities going on. We can run 3 classes at a time in the winter when we're not outside. We can run 2 classes next door, 1 here. And we envision using this space for units of study where the equipment might be a little harder to break down, like gymnastics equipment, things like that, where we don't want to break it down every day because we still want to use the gym.
Right.
You know, if we have, you know, practice in the gym after school, you know, we can't be breaking down the gymnastic stuff every night. So we can leave it set up in here. It gives us a lot of options to do some different things with equipment. We have this rock wall. The mats are in front of it right now. We'll be able to take that down. That's a nice size rock wall. It's got things like the mat lifter, so all our mats can be stored up in the ceiling, so we can take advantage of the space. It's got these beautiful windows. You know, it could also be used as a theater space as well because we have a screen that comes down that we can project up there. It's a great
But again,
option.
even on a not bright day, even on a dull day like today, no lights, it's still open and airy.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I've said it over and over again, the flexibility that this allows is fantastic. We're not locked into a classroom model or an instructional model because of lack of space. We have this flexibility to move kids into different areas, to do different things with them, and we're not confined by, you know, the limitations of the building. There's a lot of flexibility here.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. I'll take you upstairs to our 2nd floor, which is our 4th grade.
Again, the light is amazing.
And there's not a single area of this building that does not have windows to the outside, except for 1, which I will show you.
Oh, the little amphitheater room.
Yeah,
I remember the one room without windows.
that's it. So we have, over to this side on this full floor, we have an amphitheater area, which is a great space for, you know, teachers to bring their class for a read aloud or just some, you know, independent project or small group work. You have this, again, like I said, flexible space for teachers to do with as they need. They can bring the kids over here, whole class, small group. It's got this bright space. We got the shades pulled down a little bit here, but it's, you know, floor to ceiling, 2 floors of just windows, natural light pouring in here. So you'll see on this floor, the 2nd floor, which is 4th grade, a lot more greens as we reach like the top of trees.
Now, what is the biggest difference between the 3rd grade area and the 4th?
None. There's really no difference. I would say the one thing that does catch the eye of many of our folks on the 2nd and 3rd floor is you start to see these windows and this glass that allows you to look up or down. Again, just brings in that inviting space of, you know, sharing spaces together, being able to be nice and open and bright. that certainly catches the eye of many of our passersby on the second floor and third floor, that glass area. But you'll see the same things as the common workspaces like this, which is again nice and open. And here we are on the second floor, in the middle of the second floor, and you have the natural light, which goes right up. We have windows along the ceiling and overhead, nice and bright, and it just, research has told us what natural light does for learning, rather than those fluorescents that are humming all over your head.
It was the darkness,
Yeah.
You walk in here and your mood goes up. You feel open. And
It is. It's very bright. Each floor is also home to one of these little story rooms, which is, make sure I have the lights on here. There we go. So each floor has got a different color. First floor is orange. This one is a green. Third floor is blue.
Blue.
But these go right through the middle of the building, kind of a round room, which is great for story, reading a whole class book to kids, having kids come in here and read together. Again, the spaces that are available for collaboration between kids is unbelievable.
Also, just instead of being, I'm in this classroom for 6-8 hours.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a break and go to story room. Let's take a break and go to the amphitheater.
Yeah.
Just to break it up.
Get kids moving, get kids into different settings, and the colors are stimulating, the environment is stimulating.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And again, it's always amazing that you can look up or down throughout the whole building.
So we have here, the glass, which this area looks down into the library or the book collection, and here over to my left is a teacher workroom. So on each floor, there is a teacher staff workroom. So copy machines, printers, a space for them to sit down and do some work or collaborate with a colleague. It allows them a spot to eat and have snacks. So this space is going to be available on each floor for staff. Like I said, we talk about student spaces to collaborate. This is also spaces for teachers to collaborate.
The old Woodland, we had one little room behind the principal's office for all the teachers.
Yep.
And I remember every time we tried to do a project, you had to kind of schedule because you only get half a table.
Yeah. So we have these spaces in every area. Each floor has one. This is the only room in the building that does not have windows to the outside world. This is our media room, which is a great space for classes to take advantage of some videos, whether it's an educational video or some type of slideshow or production that a teacher has put together to teach a particular skill or concept. This just, again, is another space for kids to utilize.
Yeah, and it's perfect because this one you want dark.
Exactly.
Exactly. I want to be able to show, if I'm a teacher and I want to share concepts with other educators, I can put it up on the big screen.
This is a great place when, for kids to, when we're collaborating with, whether kids in another school district or at Stacy or whatever it is, we can, FaceTime in. Put it up there. We have this nice space to take advantage of the video qualities that our technology can provide.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take you up to the third floor.
Okay, above the trees we go.
Above the trees, into the sky.
Wow. This one really shows you brightness.
Yep, so this is the middle column stairway. And windows all up above. You get a great view of the playground, which we'll take a peek at when we get outside. But it also shows you how close we are. We're in a residential area. You know, this is Cypress Road or Cypress Street, I forget which one, but it's Cypress right there. And we're surrounded by homes, families. And this, while it's huge and bright and colorful, the playground that's back there is a great asset for our families that are in the area. So our third floor is our 5th grade. And again, same opportunities for our 5th graders with, you know, the collaborative learning spaces, openness, the colors, the brightness, the story room. Our 5th grade staff is coming over from Stacy School, and they're very excited to be joining us. You know, our students, our 4th graders coming into 5th grade, it's not so much of a change for them.
Right.
I mean, it's a change for everybody being in the new
But
building.
they were Woodland.
But
they're
they
still-
were Woodland, they're still Woodland. Our 5th grade teachers, this is something new for them, and they're very excited to be here with us. They've been, you know, joining in the culture, the spirit of working together and collaborating right from the get-go. You know, they're setting up their classrooms.
But the long-range ed plan just made so much sense that 3rd, 4th, and 5th are together.
Yes.
Because when I thought of 5th graders and 7th graders, there was such a difference between them.
Yeah, 5th graders, you know, a lot of 5th graders, it happens in the spring, they hit those developmental milestones, they embark on a new, you know, biological and developmental stage. 5th graders, in you know, my opinion, 5th graders are very much belong in an elementary school.
Right.
So I'm excited that they're here. Our 5th grade teachers are excited that they're here. We still have we still have a lot of opportunities for our 5th graders to start to transition academically to the middle school model. So we have that built in still with our teams and students rotating classes by content areas. That's not going to change for the foreseeable future, but there's a little give and take between that middle school model and bringing our 5th grade teachers and students here to the elementary school, transitioning them to an elementary model as well.
Well, and you think about the amount of change. When we grew up, you were in 6th grade in Spruce Street and going where the library is. Walking across the street to Stacy was the scary movement.
Yeah.
You know, so you're sitting there saying, okay, now it's all 7th and 8th and the high school is right there.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you got 3 years here.
Yep.
You got 3 years at Stacy. So it seems like a lot more of the gradient doesn't seem as dramatic.
3 years at Woodland, 3 years at Memorial or Brookside, 3 at Woodland, 3 at Stacy, 4 at the high school. So it minimizes some transitions for kids. It does. It's a great setup. Yeah. So I'll walk you down the rest of the way here. For those afraid of heights, the 3rd floor, this area is not probably the preferred location of the building, given that you can see all 3 floors. This is one of the, I think, a spectacular view. My wife, who's afraid of heights, walked down this hallway holding onto the walls. But you can see from floor to ceiling, all 3 floors. I think it's a great view. Again, you saw those colors of
Yeah, now we
the
got blue
sky.
chairs.
We have the blue, and
tile.
the blue and the white here. It's a you know, a nice artistic vision come to life. So this is one of the areas of the building that I really love, because you get to see from the front of the building, you get to see this beautiful pond area from above. So we have this great teaching space. For those of you who remember the old Woodland, you know, it was kind of a pond that turned into kind of a swampy
Swamp.
area. It was not real pretty, but they've revitalized that whole space. So now it's replanted. They've set up a couple of areas around that area for outdoor teaching spaces. So you'll see like some rings of rocks, which could serve as kind of like
Outdoor classroom.
chairs and desks, outdoor classrooms. There's some beautiful, beautiful plantings all around that a nice walkway which is handicapped accessible so that anybody can access that and get around that space. I think it's a beautiful spot. It also, for our staff that was transitioning from the old Woodland, they could see the new building and they could see it, as it was taken apart. There's nothing left to it now but dirt piles and a few
It's almost a soccer field.
Yeah, they're starting to work on that soccer field and get that cleaned up for a field. But I love the view that this presents of, the front bus loop, the pond. It gives you a great view from this spot.
Well, even the planning of the entrance. I mean, any of us who had children at Woodland always knew what a interesting challenge it was.
It was.
To try and get in, drop off your child,
Yep.
and get out within the same day.
Yeah, so we'll have, what we have here, we're going to have two entrances. We have two loops that are running parallel to each other. So this front loop here that comes right up in front of the school is going to be nothing but buses and vans. So they'll pull up, drop off, and go out. Okay, so there's not going to be any accessibility for cars. We don't want cars parking there, cars coming in there. It's just buses and vans. And then right next to it, on the second entrance, a little further up North Vine towards Highland, is another entrance. The loop runs the same way. It's a
But that's just for
counterclockwise,
parents.
just for parent drop-off and pick-up in the morning or afternoon. Where we have the bus loop goes around the pond, the car loop is going to go around a parking lot. So that's going to be our visitors and a volunteer parking lot. So there'll be spaces up there available to them. Once the field gets built out, there's also going to be a parking lot by the field as well. So all of our visitor and volunteer parking is going to be to the left, from where I'm standing right now, looking out. It's going to be to the left of the building. All the car traffic is going to be to the left of the building. And this is just going to be for buses. Our traffic, we'll see how it goes the first couple of days. And if we have to adjust, we will.
It has to be better than watching people trying to cut the buses off to get into the loop of the old Woodland.
Yeah, with just that one entrance. This allows for us to have two separate entrances and
So you have
keep
to get
things
tall
moving.
people now?
You have to get really tall people. We have lifts and ladders
They say
all
no
over the
short
place.
people because they got to reach all the glass.
So as we go down to the second floor, I'll take you into some of our art spaces and music spaces.
See, and that's such a welcome perspective because we take care of the sports, we take care of the academics, but the other side, the liberal arts side, the open, the music, that was always, as I say, I remember having to drop off things to my daughter in Mel, the custodian's closet, because that's where they were holding the music room.
Yep. It was tight. It was tight up there. So we have, these are our arts, kind of our arts wing, so to speak, and it overlooks our cafetorium. So again, it's nice and open and bright. We come into our art spaces and we have this, the art motif in the tile. Our art rooms are nice and big and bright.
This is amazing to be an art room.
Yeah, so the sensors are supposed to go on here. Let me make sure where.
There you go.
So our art room, we have multiple art rooms. This one is for our visual arts. So Mrs. Delaney, our other Mrs. Delaney, is in this space. And it gives you all kinds of flexibility and options here to teach art. A great space for her. Next door, our other art room has got a kiln in one of the closet spaces, so we could do pottery and clay. A lot of options for
Well,
kids.
you've started down the first road of success in Milford, knowing all the staff by name.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm still meeting people. I've been on the job for a couple of months. I'm still meeting people. I'm getting pretty close. I'm getting close.
Well, there's so many old traditions. I was just joking with my daughter who teaches in the high school, saying she is now a true Milfordian because she's third generation Milford and she lives within 2 miles of her mother.
Well, my mom is still in town as well, but I live on the other side of town. It's a full 5-minute drive. And she still gives me a hard time about it. I have to go all the way to the other side of town.
Well, as long as it's still in the center of the universe, it all counts.
Yeah. So I'll bring you into one of our music spaces. So a lot of teachers joked as they came in here, like, are we opening up
Vivarium?
Are we opening up some kind of like pet sanctuary?
Yeah,
or
vivarium
something
for all
like
the
that?
bison.
So no, this is for our instrument storage.
But this is so
It's
incredibly
very
good
thoughtful.
when you sit there and you think you spend so much money buying or renting instruments, and there was no choice. They got thrown on the stage, stacked up.
Yeah.
This is really, really impressive.
It gives us spots to either store student instruments, but also for classroom instruments. Just the storage that comes with those, because they're sometimes they're bulky or they're not easy to pack away. So this gives us a place.
But
to
again,
have
even
that.
the idea when you're throwing it down on the floor, and you say that's very valuable and you should take care of it.
Yeah.
Not the same as having a space for it.
It's great. So this is one of our 3 music classrooms, and all of our music classrooms are sound engineered for music instruction. So you get
You
this
can see
great
the ceiling.
ceiling tiling, the sound panels that are in here. Even things like having the whiteboards with the note scale already into the whiteboard. It's carved right in there. These classrooms have the divider that you can open up, so that if you want to do a full ensemble or full chorus presentation, you can break down these walls and have this space for an entire band, entire chorus.
But you can close it and have a classroom.
You can close it up as well.
Because
And
that
as you
was the
mentioned,
problem with the old
The old
Woodland.
Woodland, we literally had our music staff was teaching in the custodian's closet.
But even our academic staff,
Yeah,
the
they were too.
kumbaya era of
Yeah.
put 50 kids in one double classroom.
Yep.
Anybody that ever, I don't know how the teachers, anybody that ever sat through, keeping 25 kids focused was something.
50 is hard.
But I can't imagine how I'm teaching this lesson. I think they had to coordinate, saying, okay, don't teach a noisy lesson while I'm teaching reading.
Certainly. Yep. Yeah.
This gives them all the flexibility. I just love it. Ensemble 2, Ensemble 1.
We have small group, we have small group classroom spaces as well for our instrument instruction, which is great. So when you're doing a small group lesson, you have a spot for them. Again, the spaces have been taken care of. Our stage is still a work in progress. So that's going to get finished up in the next couple of weeks. As I said, it's we could do a full Broadway production here between the lighting, the sound, the video technology that's available to us. It's phenomenal. I've just gotten a sneak peek on some of it. It's just things that you would never imagine being able to do. We can do here on this stage. And then certainly, I think the kids, the thing that they were probably most interested in,
The playground.
the playground.
It's okay, Malcolm. You can say wow, because that's what I'm thinking.
So I'll take you around this way. So the back of the building has got, we'll have some flower beds that are already there, garden beds that are built in. We've already got a garden club, and some of our science teachers are already claiming spots because they're very excited. Some rain barrel runoffs from the roof to take advantage of some of the environmental options.
Teach conservation.
Yep. So these areas are hopscotch and foursquare. We have 3 main play areas out back here, and if you take a step on this surface, it's got a little bounce and a little give. It's springy for safety reasons.
I love it.
Yeah.
We're not open yet, but the community's already learned about it.
It's every night we're chasing people away before we got the okay on the inspection of all the equipment.
Right.
So now we're excited to have people.
Yeah,
come out
now
here.
it's wonderful.
It's great. So we have this, this surface, which I love, because you see many playgrounds have the wood chips, and the wood chips are a mess to keep up with.
And they get everywhere.
They get everywhere. The weather, the rotting, the insects, the bugs. This surface is fantastic for kids. So we have, some of our landscaping is still being finished, obviously, with the drought conditions from this summer. We haven't been able to plant or grow anything, but we've got, some of our spaces here like this. It's all this clover, which is all going to fill in, which is going to be a nice green space here. We have these climbing structures. Some more plantings are going in, so a lot of the landscaping is still being tied together out back here. A lot of it's going to be grassed green space. It's a phenomenal play area. You come back here and it's just, I can't blame the kids. It's very exciting to want to be out here.
Well, it's great to see the community beating us to it.
Yeah. I think this should be dry by now. It is.
So the kids enjoying the playground?
Hello, how are you? So this area here is we're gonna be installing a Gaga pit, which is a very popular game.
I was going to say, now help out Gaga. It's not that weird singer.
No, Gaga is, I believe it's a playground game from Israel, where it's kind of like dodgeball and handball kind of cross, and it's within like the walls of about waist high walls. There's a Gaga pit which is installed at Stacy, between Stacy and Memorial, and it's an octagon. Is it an octagon, guys? A hexagon?
It's an octagon.
Yeah.
You hit other kids in the knees.
Yeah, so it's basically like a dodgeball within a confined space.
area.
So we'll have a Gaga pit that's installed in this area here. So out back here we'll have there's a walkway out here to Cypress Street with a gate. So for our families that live in the homes and apartments that are behind Woodland, they don't have to walk all the way out to Congress or North Vine. They can come right in here through the back and access the property. So we're glad for that. A convenience for those families. So some of the plantings have already been put in, and I think they're spectacular. Along a lot of the building, we have those nice grasses. When they come in, are going to be a phenomenal look. And this whole area here has got all kinds of perennial plants that have been put in for butterflies, hummingbirds.
Huh?
When they first put them in earlier this summer, this whole area, it was spectacular. The color, the brightness, the green. Certainly the drought has taken its toll a little bit on this area, but I've been assured that these will all come back nice and strong. This is going to be a beautiful area come the spring and the summer next year.
It's funny, you're walking and you just keep going and there's more and more woodland.
There is.
But it's funny because we heard this is the biggest elementary school
Yep.
in the state,
Yep.
but it's not big square footage per pupil. It's just we have over 1,000 kids coming here.
We're gonna have, I think, when we get the full enrollment, and the kids are still enrolling as of this weekend and today, they're still coming in. I think our numbers are going to be probably a hair above 1,000, which makes it a very big building.
Well, the whole high school is only 1,200.
Yeah, it's going to be a big number. As of last week, we're at 976, and we still had quite a few to enroll. And this is the last thing I wanted to share from our playground space. This area back here, if you're facing Woodland, would be to the left. This is our gym right here to the left. We have this beautiful basketball court area, for our students, recess, for our PE classes, but certainly I anticipate it's already happened. A lot of community members, we've seen a lot of kids out here after school, or school hasn't started yet, but in the afternoon or at night out here playing basketball. After school hours playing basketball. This whole area out here is going to be, again, once we get better weather conditions, is going to be seeded. So this is going to be a great grassy field. for both our PE classes and again for the community.
So they don't have to go all the way over to the soccer field.
Come, in the fall and the spring when our PE classes want to get outside, they don't have to go all the way out there. I mean, by the time they get
all
the
the
kids
way
out the door. But it's when you have 45 minutes
Right.
for a PE class, if it takes you 10 minutes to get over there, 10 minutes to get back, you've lost half your.
Well, that's what we had in middle school
time.
east.
Yeah.
We had Pheno Field right there.
Right.
But you ate up half of your
Traveling.
Just traveling.
Yeah. So this is going to be great for our PE classes, just to be able to get out here and use this field when it's ready to go, probably sometime next year. So that's the full.
That's the
full tour.
Amazing.
It is.
Absolutely amazing.
We're very grateful to the town. They've given us quite a building to work with, to educate and do what we want to do with kids. Our staff have been just so grateful as they've moved in and getting set up. They're just so excited and energized. So.
Well, we've been fortunate because we just had a new AD, and the first thing that hit me is when he said, we have student athletes. Emphasis on student.
Yep.
And you start seeing the new IT director, all the people coming in. Not that we didn't have good people before, but it's like, without trying to insult anybody, it's a wonderful upgrade of people.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I was saying as I was going through the interview process for this position, I had a day when I did an interview, and I got to spend the day touring the building, touring Woodland. Went over to Stacy to see fifth grade classrooms as well. And I said this to many people, before I got the job. But after that interview day, I said, if I don't get this job, I'll be disappointed. But what I do know, as a parent and as an educator, looking at it from those lenses separately, I feel really good about what's happening in the Milford schools.
And like I said, we always had educators, ADs, people that were A-list. But now with the facility, you can say, hey, we can upgrade everything around them so they can be A+.
Just the things that were happening in Woodland, as I mentioned, in spaces that were never designed for teaching and learning, was amazing. There were some great things happening. So I can't wait to see what happens.
Just Mr. Moffat having to stop so Mal could come in and get the cleaning supplies in the middle of the class.
Yeah.
Now you look at the stage they have.
Yeah.
You look at the ensemble rooms. Just amazing.
Yep, it's great. We're excited. It's going to come to life. It came to life on Saturday when we had our open house. We had several thousand people come through. It was phenomenal. The energy and positivity was contagious. And it's going to feel like it feels like a school a little bit more every day as the classrooms get set up, and we start to see families come in to drop off, whether it's medication or to take a tour because their child has a specific need for that. It's great to see families and kids in the building, so we can't wait for Wednesday to happen and really bring this place to life.
I remember 40-odd years ago, 1974, we did this in the new high school.
Yeah.
And you had that same feeling. And here we are, that school has been serving us so well for many decades. I have a feeling that it met its match.
Yeah, it's great. We know that we've had a few educators from our other buildings come over here, and they're a little jealous, a little envious.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I
look forward to hearing
this is great.
3-6 months from now, having you on the show and talk about what's actually happening.
I can't wait to share.
Thank you. So, as always, to our 6 loyal viewers, but since it's a new school, we may get 7 or 8. May tomorrow be a better day than today. Get out and learn about the educational opportunities for our children, because there's so many. And now, as I said, we always had, in my mind, the vast majority were A-level players. Now, with the tools we're giving them, they can move up to A+. So good night, may God bless, and may tomorrow be a better day than today. Good night.
Not too long since I've been home. Been running all my life.